Yo, what's poppin' Pokepals? Rare Boy here, and I'm back with another impossible Pokemon challenge. Today we're gonna find out if it's possible to beat Pokemon Ruby with only an Applin. The reason why I chose Applin is because just looking at its moveset, it's horrendous. Applin only learns 4 moves, and that's with me being generous and giving it all egg moves. I can tell you right now this challenge is impossible, but stranger things have happened on this channel. It's going to be interesting to see how far I can take this little guy on our quest to become Hoenn champions. Before we can even begin our challenge, we first need to import Applin's sprite into our ROM of Ruby. In order to do this, I need to replace an already existing sprite in the game that has a similar color scheme to Applin. This ultimately resulted in me replacing Jumpluff. The reason why I chose Jumpluff is aside from the similar color scheme, you normally would not run into a wild or trainer-owned Jumpluff in Pokemon Ruby, making for the most authentic experience. The next thing I need to do is edit Jumpluff's internal data so it becomes Applin. I edit its typing, base stats, TM and HM compatibility, experience needed to reach level 100, which is surprisingly really low, and I replaced all of Jumpluff's abilities with nothing, because Applin's abilities did not debut in Generation 3, unfortunately. Finally, I deleted all of Jumpluff's moves until only these 4 were left. Riveting. Now that Applin is in our game, let's review the rules of the run. The first rule is that I'm only allowed to use Applin in battle. We are allowed to capture other Pokemon for HM usage, but they cannot assist Applin by any means. The second rule is that I'm not allowed to use items in battle. Held items such as leftovers are okay, but using items such as X items or Hyper Potions are banned until the battle is over. And finally, no glitches or exploits will be used to complete the game. It's just a normal playthrough of Pokemon Ruby but with an Applin. With the rules explained in our Applin in-game, let's jump into some gameplay. The first thing I do is pick up Applin from Professor Birch's bag. For this run, I replaced Trico so our rival takes her canon anime starter in Torchic. Applin struggles against all 3 starters, so it really doesn't make a difference which one May chooses. I name our Worm and Apple Wormy, just so long as the flying monster doesn't eat him. I take a look at his stats and he has a naive nature, so more speed but less special defense, which isn't great. I was hoping for a nature that ups our attack stat, and we need all the bulk we can get. With Wormy on the team though, it's time to conquer the Hoenn region. I head straight for Roxanne with the plan in mind. I equipped an Orange Berry to Wormy and plan on maxing out my defense with Defense Curl and then using Rollout and Recycle to keep myself healthy and sweep. The plan goes off without a hitch, but it was certainly a lengthy process because Geodude maxed out his own defense and Roxanne kept healing him. Unedited, this battle is over 6 minutes long. While it plays out, let me take this time to tell you about another ongoing series on my channel called the World of Light Solo Run. In that series, I'm attempting to complete the entirety of Smash Ultimate's World of Light while only playing as my main Meta Knight, and I only get 3 lives to do the whole run. So if that sounds like a series you'd be interested in, check it out. I'll put a link to the playlist in the iCard now. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and let's get back to the run. Heading straight to Brawly, I try the exact same strategy I did on Roxanne. And right away, this is not going to happen. Machop not only has a high crit move in Karate Chop, he can also boost his attack with Bulk Up, and has Seismic Toss, which completely negates our defense boost. No matter how you slice it, Machop completely counters Wormy. Looks like I'm going to need some more levels. Here we are yet again, this time at level 30. This was a really lucky run, where I got a ton of flinches with Astonish and critted a bunch of times to bypass both Machop and Makuhita's defense rises. Honestly, if I didn't get this lucky, I would have probably still been there grinding levels to outmuscle him. Now for the infamous May battle, but thanks to our high level and Defense Curl rollout combo, we completely swept through her team. It seems like any Pokemon that doesn't resist rollout is going to be in big trouble this run. I was honestly expecting Watson to be a brick wall for us, considering Magnemite and Magneton are always troublesome, but we won on our first try. For some odd reason, Watson didn't go straight for Thunder Wave, maybe because he had the speed advantage, I'm not quite sure. We played our cards right to land a nice turn 5 rollout on Magneton for our first try sweep. How amazing is that? We then had our first encounter with Team Magma leader Maxie, and we got hit a ton of times by Bite, but didn't flinch once. It was still a close call. If we flinched even once, we probably would have lost this fight. I was expecting an easy match with Flannery considering we have rollout, but we won this match on pure luck rather than skill. Not only did we not get burned by Slugma's flame body, but Torkoal's overheat, which more than likely would have taken us out, missed. Wormy is really trying to prove something to myself and to the viewers. We try our luck against our father Norman, but Slacking's yawn shuts us down quickly. I try to PP stall his yawns, but it didn't work. I'll keep trying at this level because I think I could win, but if worse comes to worse, I'll have to gain a few more levels. I tried a few more times at our previous level, but ultimately decided to get to level 52, and with our higher defensive and offensive stats, we were able to outmuscle his mons. He also made some poor move choices, like having his second Slacking use Focus Punch instead of Facade to KO us. Another May fight, and I didn't even heal for this one. Like most of our matches, I just used Defense Curl and then proceed to roll out her entire team. Winona time, and this match was not at all what I was expecting. We took out Swellow without a sweat, but Pelipper proceeded to confuse us, which completely ruined us for Altaria, who made quick work of us with Dragon Breath. If I can level up to where I outspeed her Pokemon, I should have a better chance. I challenged Winona again at level 62, and while the RNG wasn't on our side, our stats were able to pull us through. If this match went a little differently, we would have lost, so I'm glad I didn't have to keep grinding. Tate and Liza time, and as always I catch a Magikarp with the Old Rod that only knows Splash as to not interfere with our contender Pokemon's challenge. But at this level, Wormy is completely helpless against two Pokemon assaulting him at the same time. It's time to level up some more. Even at level 78, Wormy's special defense hasn't enhanced enough to pull us through this battle. Back to even more grinding. Finally, at level 85, we outspeed both Lunatone and Solrock, and now that we have the speed advantage, we're able to safely get off the rollouts we need to win this fight. Our final Maxi battle was a bit of a marathon thanks to getting confused by Mightyana's swagger, but once we broke through the confusion, we flattened his team with rollout. Now, normally during a Ruby run, we massacre Groudon in cold blood as sort of a tradition on this channel. But Wormy was a bit of a pacifist and decided to spare his life. This time. The last gym leader Wallace is a complete jerk. Love Disc, one of the most useless Pokemon, was an actual problem for once. We finally got Love Disc down after I don't know how many turns later, and Celio was no issue, but Milotic outspeeds us and completely annihilates us with Ice Beam. We'll have to level up until we can outspeed Milotic. At level 94, we successfully outsped his entire team, and I think you know the rest from here. Defense Curl and Rollout for the win, baby. Getting to Wally was actually more difficult than Wally himself. We blacked out about 4 times in Victory Road just to face one of the most underwhelming opponents in Pokemon history. One final hurdle before the Hall of Fame. Here are our stats just outside the Elite Four. As you can see, I made the plunge and reached level 100 just so Wormy has his best shot. I also gave him the Quick Claws to potentially get the jump on our opponents. There's no way on God's green earth we're getting past Steven Stone's Steel-type Pokemon, but we have to put forth our best effort and think positive. Let's see if we can beat Pokemon Ruby with only an Applin. Let's do this! Up first in the Elite Four is Sydney, and this battle was a roller coaster. It starts off bad as Mightyana intimidates us and lowers our accuracy twice with Sand Attack. Despite that though, Wormy hit all 5 rollouts, leaving only Shiftry left, who unfortunately brought our lucky streak to a halt with Double Team and took us out. Damn, that was unfortunate. Several attempts later, and we finally get a run where even with accuracy drops from Mightyana, we managed to land all of our rollouts for a not so easy but well-deserved victory. Phoebe time, and believe it or not, we won this on our first try. For some odd reason, she never went for Curse. She just kept spamming Future Sight with her first Dusclops. Her second Dusclops made my heart drop when it pulled out an Ice Beam, but Wormy took it like a champ and steamrolled through the rest of her team with Rollout. I was honestly expecting her to be a bigger roadblock than Sydney, but this went surprisingly well. I'm sure you've all been waiting for this moment, and as you'd expect, we get absolutely O-code by Glalie. What you're witnessing isn't even the same battle on repeat, these are individual attempts and never once did I get past Glalie. Which, unfortunately means, ladies and gentlemen, I have to throw in the towel on this one. The Hoenn Elite Four takes yet another victory in the Impossible Pokemon Challenge series. Applin's typing stood no chance against the Hoenn Elite Four, and his moveset certainly didn't assist him by any means. I was hoping to at least defeat Glacia with Rollout, but our poor speed stat held us back in the end. For my next Impossible Challenge though, we're going to try yet another difficult one. We're going to find out if it's possible to beat Pokemon Gold using only a Happiny, so if you don't want to miss that challenge, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Also be sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment on your favorite part of the run. This has been your boy Rare Boy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace!
Red, white, and blue, yeah, I love